Hello everyone, my name is MrJepthah, and I have writer's block. I've been trying to write this video for a long time, but I just don't know what to do with my character. How can I make another MrJepthah video while still ensuring that my character is just as interesting as he was in the first video? Well, as a writer, there's only one thing you can do when you don't know what to do. Well, I wrote down ride an elephant, but I guess getting trampled by one is just as interesting. Faster than a speeding subpoena. More powerful than a judge, sentencing you to 30 to life. Able to leap out of tall prisons in a single bound. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. We're not talking about some ordinary superhero here. We're talking about the ordinary superhero. Superman is the first modern idea of what a superhero is. Created by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, Superman swooped into pop culture with his first appearance in 1938 with Action Comics #1. And that image is one of the most iconic images in pop culture history, and the first time we ever saw that blue spandexed Ubermensch. But of course, creating an all-powerful character like that can cause some problems. To a lot of people, creating a superhero with no weaknesses to speak of just makes him uninteresting, which isn't the point of Superman. He's got plenty of flaws that make him interesting and unique, but not a lot of people see it that way. So, an episode of the Adventures of Superman radio show introduced us to Superman's greatest antagonist, a little green rock. Kryptonite, a small chunk of meteorite from Soup's home planet, has been used to dull Superman's powers so that he basically becomes as weak and as puny as a human. While that age-old story had been told time and time again, Superman continued to weasel his way out of those situations, fly into outer space and smile at the camera, and that formula became boring. So they introduced more rocks. Red, which causes crazy things to happen to Superman's system, both physically and mentally. Black, which splits his personalities apart. Gold, which permanently removes all of his powers when swallowed. And white, which kills all plant life. How diabolical. And then that got boring. So the writers contrived a solution to make Superman profitable. I mean, interesting again. Hey, if it works. And it did. Superman number 75 made over $30 million during the first week of being on store shelves. Sure, killing superheroes and bringing them back to life the next week is common in comic books today, but that just never happened to a major and beloved character until this comic. DC decided to keep it quiet that he wasn't dead for good, so a lot of people, including the news media, believed he was really gone. And the irony is that he was killed by a giant rock monster. Again, he wasn't really gone, but it did take over half a year for his return, when characters who die in comics now usually have to wait a month or two when their movie comes out. But the marketing for this comic is stunning. I mean, the news doesn't just give out free advertising for any old comic book. And when you realize there are games based on this story, you know you did something interesting. The Death and Return of Superman was developed by, of all people, Blizzard Entertainment. Yeah, that's the first thing that comes to my mind when I think of Blizzard. Not WoW, StarCraft, Diablo, ice cream. No, I think of Superman. This game came out in August 1994 for the SNES, and January 1995 on the Sega Why Did Anyone Buy You Genesis. The SNES is my favorite console of all time, so naturally, I really want to play the Genesis version. Wait a minute. Yeah, I actually kind of wish I had a Genesis to play this game. You'll probably never hear me say this again, but the Genesis version is technically better. They're basically the same game, it's just the Genesis version has better music. The music on the SNES version sounds like a boring, monotonous drone composed it, while the Genesis actually has melodies and a fun beat I can tap my toe to. Look at Superman's hair!
It's the 90s.
Spoiler warning. Superman dies and comes back to life in this game. Let's get this thing started. This game opens with a charming reminder that it came out before the ESRB was established, as the Superman logo drips of blood. An iconic image for sure, but I feel like I need to cover my kids' eyes. Here's Doomy! The game opens with
The city.
Metropolis. Present day. Present day? Is that a new holiday where we get presents? A peaceful summer evening, when suddenly, all the lights turn off. Oh no. It's the evil elf from Thor the Dark World who is just trying to turn off all of the lights of the universe. How diabolical. No, actually, it's the Underworlders turning off the city's power grid. How diabolical. I gotta say, using such a weird niche team as the Underworlders here is so weird if you don't know that that's who Supes was fighting at the beginning of the comic. It was weird to me because I couldn't read the book. The fact that they stuck with the Underworlders as the villains in the first level shows their commitment to the story. But still, you couldn't have Luther substituted here instead? Anybody would be more interesting than these things. Level 1 opens with Superman arriving at the power plant. Our first villain is a blue goat man. I'm sorry, what?
John Rambo, just passing through their town.
Yeah, so if you couldn't tell, this is a side-scrolling beat-em-up, like most comic book / superhero games on the SNES. And here's a short list of them. I don't like side-scrolling beat-em-ups. Why? I know that the majority of them are ports from arcade games and are designed to take away your quarters. This game doesn't have an arcade cabinet for it, so why does this have to be so difficult? So Superman can punch, jump, or fly if you press the jump button twice, and throw dudes against the wall. And Superman is impervious to damage because he's Superman and he never gets hurt. Igor is toting around a chain gun. Even Superman Returns got that Superman isn't hurt by chain guns. Superman Returns! To be fair, if you actually did play as a comic-accurate Superman, that would be totally boring and one of the main reasons why we will never get a good Superman game. You can use Superman's ranged attack via the laser eyes, which actually don't do much damage, and a special button that sends Superman up in the air to crash down, killing everyone. I'm just kidding. Superman doesn't kill people. Eventually, you go down an elevator, beat up some more bad guys, including
The Tick!
There's some falling rocks you have to avoid, but again, nothing hurts the Man of Steel. A being of unknown origin is heading for Metropolis. Not even the Justice League can stop it. Well, of course not. Do you have any idea who was on the JLA roster at this time? These guys. Booster Gold, Guy Gardner, Ted Kord's Blue Beetle, Bloodwind, a green person. No wonder they couldn't stop it. Now, if you had the good JLA team on the other hand, Doomsday is here. Oh no, it's 2012! Not that Doomsday, that Doomsday. His name is Doomsday. His parents were not very kind to him. Only Superman can save us now. Is somebody holding Superman by his cape? That's probably why he looks so angry. Level 2. It's time to face Doomsday. I mean, a bunch of clones of gang members? Who cloned these guys? There's a guy with a chainsaw, and a guy who throws flaming Molotov cocktails at the invincible Superman. Maybe I can just fly out of here. Curses! Superman has been thwarted by his evil nemesis. Aspect ratios. So are these guys not concerned that a giant monster is destroying everything in sight and that they could be next? Why are they stopping their only hope from stopping this chaotic monster? Why isn't the Justice League fighting these guys while Superman stops the big monster? Why couldn't this level just be about fighting Doomsday? Just a giant, long boss fight. Blizzard War! After fighting these random guys that have no business being here, we now have to fight Doomsday. And he kills Superman. Oh, wait, I had another life left. But then, Superman kills Doomsday. Oh, no, wait, he's just running away like a little bee. And it's right back to fighting these guys. Is even the point? Superman dies. For real this time. I'm pretty sure that's not how it went down in the comic, but he's supposed to be dead, right? So you're punishing me for playing the game right. The game is called The Death of Superman. He's supposed to die. You're even showing me the iconic cover. I did the right thing! Back to the beginning of the level, I suppose.
1 hour later.
Okay, so when you finally get to the end of the level, you face Doomsday once again.
2 hours later.
So when you finally get to the end of the level, you face Doomsday once again.
6 hours later.
And when you finally drain his life bar all the way down, I had to wait 3 hours for something I did 3 hours ago! And so Superman dies, saving humanity from a monster that could have easily been defeated by the real Justice League, who will defend us now. Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, the Teen Titans, Green Lantern, the Hawk People. When I first flipped this on, I didn't expect how faithful this would be to the story. I mean, it would have been nice if they had both been faithful to the comic and put in save files or passwords at the same time. Yeah, there's no way to save your progress in this game for whatever stupid reason. You just have to play it all in one session or emulate it and use save states. Don't look at me like that. I'm dead. I can emulate whatever I want. Newsflash. I am the fastest newsman alive. Reports of Superman sightings are pouring in from all over the city. How? He's dead. Oh yeah. So yeah, there's 4 different characters that are wearing Superman's symbol and doing super things throughout the city. There's a cyborg-looking thing, another Superman with sunglasses,
very 90s,
a child, and a man made of steel. Get it? Steel? Because, you know, Shaq, and apparently one of these guys has to be the real Superman. Here's a hint. It's none of them! The rest of the game pretty much focuses on these guys and their story. We are now in control of the cyborg Superman and a new level type. The beginning of this level is a side-scrolling shooter. Considering how annoyed I was with the beat-em-up style, it's a nice change of pace and still works for the Superman flavor. Also, it's easy. Then my fun is spoiled by the regular gameplay. And now there's a new villain type.
Oh, they fly now! They fly now? They fly now!
So, Cyborg Superman infiltrates Cadmus Labs, where an incapacitated Doomsday is...
He's resting.
Fearing that Doomsday may somehow reawaken, the cyborg hurtles his body into deep space. Why didn't you just throw him into the sun? Now we're in control of 90s Superman, just beating dudes up. No real importance to the story. Until Shaquille O'Neal comes in to wreck our day. So, if you're not familiar with Steel, John Henry Irons used a big hammer and creates a suit of armor that helps him do what Superman can do. With a wave of my hand, I could destroy you, Man of Steel. Do it. Please do it. It takes more than power to be Superman. It takes humanity and compassion. I'm just gonna leave this image here for a second and just let a certain fraction of people who pretend to know what Superman is take this in. Okay, back to the game. Meanwhile, an enormous spacecraft appears over Coast City. Oh good, it's not over Metropolis. Hal Jordan could take care of this. And destroys it completely. Hal Jordan couldn't stop this? And people wonder why I call him overrated. I must go to investigate the destruction of Coast City. Investigate, or just fly over there and punch as many looters as I possibly can? That's what I thought. Level 5. So this level is pretty much the same as level 3. You punch all of these guys, including Arkansas for some reason. Watch out for falling rocks. The cyborg Superman shows up, and 90s Superman beats him up. After posing for winning the battle, the cyborg pulls a cheap shot and knocks us down. With the Eradicator out of the way, my goal draws one step closer. The cyborg was the villain all along! I never would have guessed. Now to deal with the Superboy. I wonder what comes next. The same gameplay style that we've been playing this entire time? The exact same bad guys to beat up as we've been doing this whole time? I never would have guessed. Level 6. So after the exact same level that we've already played in this game, Superboy decides to check out Coast City, where we go to the exact same level we've already played in this game. And we face the cyborg again. And then we beat the cyborg again. Then we lose to the cyborg again. You are in what used to be Coast City. Now, Engine City. I'm glad they decided to change its name. And you are witnessing the restructuring of your planet. All right, that's what I'm talking about. I love this guy. I'd totally vote for him for president. I'm dead. I can say whatever I want. I must proceed with my plans to erect a second engine city in Metropolis. Goodbye for now, Superchild. I'm gonna use that next time I read a comic book with Superboy Prime. Superchild. Superboy is then transported to the USS Enterprise. Steel meets up with someone claiming to be the real Superman, but I don't know if I believe him. I mean, anyone could just put on a Superman logo and say that they're Superman. The mullet of steel. The prophecies were true. You are the real Superman! Also, the black and silver costume is
very 90s.
I hope we get to play as Superman in that costume. How do I know you're for real? Steel, come on, buddy. Look at the hair. Also, how are you still alive? Read the book. I'm alive again! It's a Christmas miracle! Now we get to play as Shaq as he, what else, beats up the bad guys on his way to the end. The only difference that I can make out here is that I think his hammer has a longer reach than the punches of the other Supermen, but I can't tell if it really matters. You're too late to stop the destruction of Metropolis. Oh, we're too late? Oh well. Level 8. Superboy volunteers to stop the missile the cyborg is sending at Metropolis. And this was my favorite level of the game. Not only do you actually feel as invincible as Superman is for once, but you fly fast and stop a giant missile like Superman has done a few times. Level 9. We play as Shaq again, sneaking through Bowser's castle to destroy kryptonite-powered fuses, or I don't know, whatever that is. No villains to speak of here, but there are plenty of obstacles to weave around, and it's actually different enough where I'm actually having fun with this once again. Mission 10. After Shaq destroys the giant cyborg head, the 90s Superman, well, both of them, face against the cyborg Superman who shoots them and faces them together. And I don't get to play as the black suit Superman? If you're confused, just keep telling yourself,
It's the 90s.
then it will all make sense. Also, the book that I actually can read now has so many more details to the story, but the game doesn't have enough time for that, so I don't either. Now, we're Superman. The real Superman, fused with a mindless Kryptonian science experiment to be even stronger than Superman ever was before. After everything gets thrown at us and I have to use multiple save states. Oh yeah, I'm alive again. I mean, playing the game as it was meant to be played? We finally fight the cyborg Superman one final time. This time, beating him once and for all. Amazing. What I've experienced defies description. And then he proceeds to describe it. Doomsday killed me, and the cyborg nearly destroyed the Earth. He nearly destroyed Metropolis, not the Earth. The Eradicator brought me back to life in full power. Too bad I didn't get his rockin' sunglasses. I'm rejuvenated in a way I never thought possible. That's how I feel every time I take a power nap. Or take a nice, refreshing sip of Mountain Dew.
Hashtag not sponsored.
I have no idea what's coming next. I do. But I know whatever it is, I'll be able to handle it better than ever. And that was the death and return of Superman. I feel very whelmed and underwhelmed all at the same time. I actually really like this overall arc in the comics, even if it is a nonsensical and
very 90s.
And it's cool that it's here in video game form. But overall, this game just felt like it just stayed the same difficulty the whole way through. Even some of the bad guys you were punching were the same thing over and over and over. Like Cadmus just cloned a bunch of guys named Molotov and Chainsaw. Wait. That's what's in those Bacta tanks! A couple of levels near the end were actually pretty fun, but only because they were different enough from the other levels. If I hadn't been emulating this game, I would have been upset with the fact that there's no save feature. Not even passwords to save your place. But again, I didn't really have to worry that much. The story is so condensed that if you didn't read the book, you're still left with so many questions throughout. Questions such as, how did I come back to life? And the answer is quite simply,
It's the 90s.
I don't really recommend this game, but to be fair, it's probably the best Superman game out there right now. That's a pretty high bar, I know. Now, if you'll excuse me, now that I'm back to life, I feel rejuvenated in a way that I've never felt before. I'm gonna go take a walk. I stubbed my toe.